We know right now the Associated Press is already calling some of the races, and our Matt Gregory is at our big magic wall over there, taking a look at some of these races. And we were talking just a moment ago because in West Virginia, there's a big change there, right?
Oh, yeah. In West Virginia, they've already called the governor's race as well as the Senate race. So I'm going to take you in to look at those in a second. But let's start with what just came out, which is that the AP has called Maryland for Harris, even though we're just beginning to see here. I'll bring it over to you. You can see that none of the votes have really been counted yet, but based on the exit polling and the information coming into the AP, that's why they've called Maryland for Kamala Harris. So that's where that moves to. Now, I want to take you to what Lorenzo and Leslie were talking about. Our folks in West Virginia can take a look at this. This is the former governor, Jim Justice, with about 12% of the votes called, has already been given the seat in the U.S. Senate here. You can take a look at where he's kind of doing well. It's all over the state. The strongest point for his opponent was going to be sort of further north near Pennsylvania, but you can see this is where Glenn Elliott, the Wheeling, West Virginia mayor, was doing not so badly. He was doing all right, but the reason they end up calling the AP does, many of these places, is because they take historical information, they look at exit polling, and they also look at whether or not the gap can be closed. So let's make this a little bit bigger here. If they don't believe this gap can be closed within this, that's why they'll call the race when it appears to be so early. So let's take a look at what the repercussions of that are, down the line. We'll take you over to our U.S. Senate map. And when you see the Senate map, right, there are more Democratic seats up than Republican seats, right? So one of those Democratic seats had been Joe Manchin in West Virginia. But you can see now it is firmly in the Republican quarter with Jim Justice now taking that role. We'll bring you back out because the race to 50, if I can kind of get a little closer here, Republicans only need about 7 more seats in order to get to 50-50 in the Senate, whereas Democrats need significantly more, about 16 more seats just to get close to having that majority they had in the Senate. So that's one of the things we're looking at. As a result, though, with Justice leaving the governor's mansion, who's going to be the new governor? Well, that would be the Attorney General, Patrick Morrisey. That's also been called. And you can see Morrisey, just like Elliott, just like, we're going to get back to it over here, just like Steve Williams, Elliott, when it came to the Senate race, they were both over here doing well in Monongalia County over here. That's where their strong point was. But since they didn't really show up anywhere else in the state, it looks like, that's why this has been called the governor's race for Patrick Morrisey, the former Attorney General of West Virginia. So we're seeing early returns come in. And while we're still waiting to see what happens, you just talked to Rafael Sanchez Cruz. He was in the 7th district, right? Well, let's bring you over here and take a look at where they're at in this one. That's right here. Eugene Vindman, Derek Anderson. This has not been called yet, right? This is pretty close, but you can see 39% of the votes are in, and Vindman has a lead, but it's only by about 10%. You can see where he's doing well is Prince William County, just outside in the the kind of a southern portion of Northern Virginia. But when you look at Derek Anderson, it's areas like Spotsylvania County, Orange County, Madison County, Culpeper County, and even Caroline County. That's where they're starting to see sort of a bit of their stronghold. Right around Richmond, that's where Derek Anderson is living, whereas Vindman's a little bit further north. And we take a look here at, here we go, Fredericksburg, the city. That's another place where Vindman is doing all right. And then one more before I send it back to you guys. Let's take you over to Suhas Subramaniam and Mike Clancy. This is the 10th district. This is Jennifer Wexton's seat, the one she is retiring from. You can see, again, the further out you get from Northern Virginia, the stronger point you see from Mike Clancy, the Republican candidate, whereas Suhas Subramaniam is doing better in Loudoun County, and then, of course, over here in Prince William County. Prince William County over the years has slowly been turning more and more blue. That's why you saw Abigail Spanberger win in about 3 or 4 cycles ago. That's why you saw Wexton win about 3 or 4 cycles ago. This area has been turning more blue, but you can see there's still some Republican strongholds here just outside. So that's a look at what we're seeing on the big board right now. Of course, I'm going to be keeping up with this. These numbers are updated by the minute, by the second at times, and we'll bring it to you as we get more of our results nationally and locally in.
Yeah, this could all change even in the next 10 minutes. So we'll be touching base with you shortly.
And you can tell the contours of these districts really do make a difference in who's leading and who's trailing.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Thank you.